The lights dimmed slowly, and the atmosphere inside the venue shifted from excitement to something far more emotional. Conversations softened. Cameras steadied. And in that quiet moment, the audience sensed that what was about to happen was not just another segment, not another scripted tribute, but something deeply personal. When Xiao Zhan walked onto the stage, the applause was warm but measured, as if fans instinctively understood the tone of the moment. He wasn't smiling the way he usually did. His expression was calm, reflective, almost distant. He paused at the center, looked out into the audience, and for a brief second, it felt like time slowed. Then, from the opposite side, Wang Yibo appeared. The crowd reacted instantly. A ripple of emotion passed through the hall. Their presence together always carried weight, but tonight it felt different. There was no dramatic music, no flashy visuals, just two individuals walking toward the same point with quiet purpose. Between them, on the large screen behind the stage, a montage began to play. Images of laughter, rehearsals, candid backstage moments. And at the center of those memories was Yu Menglong. The audience recognized the significance immediately. This was not just a tribute. It was a shared reflection on friendship, growth, and moments that had shaped them all. Xiao Zhan spoke first. His voice was steady, but there was a softness in it that made every word feel heavier. He spoke about first meetings, about long filming nights, about conversations that stretched past midnight. He described Yu Menglong not just as a colleague, but as someone who brought warmth into every room. As he spoke, the camera cut briefly to Wang Yibo, who stood quietly listening. His expression revealed little, but his posture told another story. Hands clasped, gaze fixed forward, as if holding onto each memory being described. Then came the first pause. It was not planned. It wasn't scripted. Xiao Zhan stopped mid-sentence, took a breath, and for a moment, the entire hall seemed to hold its own breath with him. The emotion was visible now, not overwhelming, but unmistakable. When Wang Yibo finally stepped forward to speak, his tone was different. Shorter sentences. Simple words. But each one carried weight. He spoke about learning from Yu Menglong, about shared challenges, about the quiet support that often goes unseen by cameras. He recalled a specific moment, a rehearsal where things weren't going well, where frustration filled the room. He described how Yu Menglong had simply walked over, said a few calm words, and shifted the entire atmosphere. It was a small story, but it resonated deeply. The audience began to react more visibly now. Some wiped tears. Others leaned forward, fully immersed. The tribute was no longer just something being watched. It was being felt. Behind them, the montage continued, showing behind-the-scenes laughter, group photos, and moments that rarely make headlines but shape real connections. Each image seemed to reinforce what they were saying. This was not about public personas. It was about genuine bonds. Then something unexpected happened. Instead of continuing with prepared remarks, Xiao Zhan turned slightly toward Wang Yibo. It was a brief glance, but it carried meaning. Wang Yibo nodded subtly, and for the first time, they spoke not to the audience, but to each other. They shared a memory together. A day off during filming, a casual outing, the three of them walking through a quiet street, laughing without cameras. The simplicity of the story made it powerful. It reminded everyone that behind the fame, there were ordinary moments that mattered most. The hall grew quieter. Fans later described that moment as the turning point. It was when the tribute stopped feeling like a performance and became something deeply human. The connection between the three of them, even in absence, felt tangible. As the tribute neared its final segment, the lighting softened further. The screen displayed a still image of Yu Menglong smiling, and both Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo stood side by side. No dramatic gestures, just presence. Xiao Zhan delivered the closing words. He spoke about gratitude, about how some people enter your life and change it in ways that are impossible to measure. His voice remained calm, but the emotion was undeniable. Wang Yibo followed with a final sentence, short and sincere. He thanked Yu Menglong for being a constant, for being someone who offered support without needing recognition. The applause that followed was not loud at first. It began gently, almost respectfully. Then it grew, filling the venue. But even as the sound increased, the tone remained emotional rather than celebratory. What made the moment unforgettable was not just the words, but the stillness that came afterward. Neither Xiao Zhan nor Wang Yibo rushed off stage. They stood there for a few seconds longer, acknowledging the audience, but also seeming to absorb the moment themselves. Online, the reaction was immediate. Clips spread rapidly. Fans replayed the glances, the pauses, the shared memories. Many described feeling as though they had witnessed something genuine, something beyond scripted entertainment. Comment sections filled with messages of appreciation. Some fans wrote about how the tribute reminded them of their own friendships. Others praised the sincerity of both Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo, noting how rare it is to see such quiet, understated emotion in public events. The moment also sparked discussion about the importance of relationships within the entertainment industry. It highlighted how collaborations often create bonds that last long after projects end. And in this case, the tribute served as a reminder of those enduring connections. As the night ended, the image that remained strongest in viewers' minds was simple. Two individuals standing side by side, honoring someone who had shaped their journey. No dramatic effects. No exaggerated gestures. Just sincerity. Days later, the tribute continued to trend. Articles were written. Fan edits appeared. But what kept people returning was not speculation or drama. It was the authenticity of the moment. In an industry often defined by spectacle, this tribute stood out for its restraint. It showed that sometimes the most powerful scenes are the quietest ones. A pause, a glance, a shared memory. And in that quiet, Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo delivered something unforgettable. The impact of the tribute did not end when the lights came back on. In fact, that was when the moment truly began to grow. Clips of Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo standing side by side circulated across platforms, each version focusing on a different detail. Some highlighted the quiet glance they exchanged. Others zoomed in on the slight tremor in Xiao Zhan's voice. Every second was studied, replayed, and shared again. Fans who had followed their journey for years described the tribute as one of the most genuine moments they had seen. It wasn't dramatic in the traditional sense. There were no grand gestures or emotional outbursts. Instead, the power came from the simplicity, the calm delivery, the pauses, the way both seemed fully present in the memories they were sharing about Yu Menglong. Behind the scenes, reports began to emerge about what happened just before they stepped onto the stage. Staff members described a quiet preparation area. No loud rehearsals, no last-minute changes. Xiao Zhan reportedly reviewed a few notes, then set them aside. Wang Yibo remained mostly silent, occasionally nodding as if rehearsing the flow in his mind. It was clear they wanted the moment to feel natural rather than scripted. When they finally walked off stage after the tribute, the emotion did not disappear. Observers noticed that both remained reflective. They acknowledged a few colleagues, but the usual post-event energy was replaced by something calmer. It was as if the tribute had pulled them into a shared space of memory that lingered even after the applause ended. Meanwhile, fans began creating compilations that blended past interviews with the tribute. Old moments resurfaced. Short clips of laughter, group photos, casual interactions that had once seemed ordinary now carried new meaning. Each piece added to the sense that the bond they spoke about was not just a narrative, but something built over time. One particular clip gained attention. It showed the three of them during a light-hearted rehearsal years ago. Yu Menglong was joking, Xiao Zhan laughing openly, and Wang Yibo trying to stay composed before finally breaking into a smile. The simplicity of the moment resonated deeply. It reflected exactly what they had described on stage. Not dramatic milestones, but small, genuine interactions. As the tribute continued trending, commentators began discussing why it struck such a strong emotional chord. Many pointed out that audiences connect most with authenticity. In a world of polished appearances, a moment that feels unscripted stands out. Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo did not try to perform emotion. They allowed it to exist quietly, and that quietness made it powerful. Days later, the image still lingered. Two figures under soft lighting, speaking not just to an audience, but to shared memories. Their words were simple, but the meaning behind them carried weight. It was a reminder that some of the most unforgettable scenes are not built on spectacle, but on sincerity. And long after the event ended, fans continued to revisit the tribute, each time discovering something new. A subtle expression, a pause, a shared understanding. The moment remained alive, not because it was dramatic, but because it felt real.